Hello students, this is Miss Mishu and this is your financial goals assignment. The objective is students will be able to list at least one goal within each category: short-term, intermediate term, and long-term. A short-term goal is one that can be fulfilled within 1 year. Intermediate is between 1 to 5 years, and long-term goals would be 5 years or more. Research the cost of each item within your spreadsheet and then create a spreadsheet using formulas to determine the cost of the goal. So first of all, we need to create a Google spreadsheet. So there's several ways to do this. So log into your York Schools account, and then once it's loaded up, I just want to make sure I'm in York Schools here. Okay, so once it's loaded up, one way to get to your drive is just to click on this little waffle here, which is your Google Apps, and you can go to Sheets. And then you want to select blank. And you have a blank spreadsheet. Now, Google Sheets is very similar to Numbers and also Excel. Up here, I would like you to type your last name, financial plan. As soon as it loads. I'm going to make this financial plan 2 because I already have one. And then I would like you to share it with me, giving me editing privileges, because in the very beginning there are quite a few things you need to be able to format correctly. So you want to click on the share button, and as soon as it loads, you want to type in my email address, lmishu@yorkschools.org, and then I believe the default is editing privileges, then hit done. Okay, so within a spreadsheet you have columns and rows. Columns go down, A, B, C, D, and so forth. Rows go horizontally, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the intersection of a row and a column is referred to as a cell. So what you're being tasked with at this moment is to create the spreadsheet here. You notice that I have the rows and the columns listed. Please match up your rows and columns with mine because we'll be discussing formulas. Notice how this first row is merged. It is one that goes across several columns, goes across A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So that's called merging. So what we need to do here is click right in the middle of cell A1 and go to G. Okay, it's a little tricky, but click within the middle of the cell and drag across. Go to Format, Merge Cells, Merge Horizontally. So this is where you're going to be typing your name, financial goals, okay? Now, I require that the spreadsheets be all in a 14-point font. Now notice this spreadsheet goes all the way down to G9. So it's A1 to G9. So let's select that, A1 to G9. And let's go all 14-point font right now, okay? And then we're going to add all borders. It may become necessary to widen columns from time to time, so all you do is click up here between the A and the B to click and drag. And this is how you widen columns. Let's make this first row bold, so you click on the B, and then horizontal alignment would be center. Now notice that B2 and C2 are also merged, as is D2 and E2, as is F2 and G2. So let's do that. Let's merge those cells. Okay, so B2 and C2, you select it, go to Format, Merge Cells, Merge Horizontally. D2 and E2, Format, Merge Cells, Merge Horizontally. And then F2 and G2, format, merge cells, merge horizontally. The other thing you'll notice is at the bottom, it says sheet 1. We're going to have one document. It's going to be your name, financial plan. So this is one document. We're going to have several sheets along this document, okay? So it's important that we name these sheets. So if you double click on this, you could just type in goals, okay? Next is entering some more information. So what I'm going to do is just copy this and then paste it. So what you'll do is type in all of this information here. And then widen columns as needed, okay? So you may need to click and drag up here between the A's and the B's and so forth, and that will widen your columns. Okay? All right, so once you get this information in, you might want to add some color, okay? So if I just click on row 1 here, it selects this. If you click on this fill color thing, you can, it's a drop-down menu, you can select any color that you want. Again, this is all supposed to be a 14-point font in an easy-to-read font. Going to center column 1, so I click on the A and click on center, okay? Notice that column C is currency, there are amounts of money. Column E is currency, and column G is currencies, dollars and cents. And so in order to format it that way without having to type the dollar sign, the period, and the 2 zeros, simply click on the column letter that highlights everything within that particular cell. It should be centered. And then click on Format as Currency. Do the same for E. Click on the E, Format as Currency. Same with G. Okay, now we're going to get into formulas. And formulas are excellent because it will do the calculations for you. Therefore, it will be a whole lot more accurate. So every formula begins with the equal sign. So in cell C7, type equal sum. And then parentheses, we're going to type in C4 colon, which is a dot over dot. You have to use the shift, colon C6. Equal sum, parentheses, C4 colon C6. Now, if you're doing this along with this video, you may just kind of pause the video and make sure you get this done and get it done right. That's going to add up C4 plus C5 plus C6. And see, the beauty of that is once you hit enter, you get the answer. But let's say the cost of an Apple Watch goes down to $175. If I type 175 here, notice that that amount automatically changes. Okay? So what do you suppose the formula would be in cell E7? All formulas begins with equal, sum, and then it's going to be E4 because we're in column E, E4 colon E6. Great. Let's do the same for column G. All formulas begin with equal, sum because we're adding an adjacent range side by side together. So equal sum, left parenthesis, G4 colon G6. And then if the formula shows up, that just simply means you have a space in front of the formula. So you may need to delete that space to get the result. Now we need a grand total here. So the grand total is going to be the amount of your short-term goals plus the amount of your intermediate goals plus the amount of your long-term goals. So we're adding 3 cells, but they're not adjacent. Therefore, you do not use sum. You're going to add up C7 plus E7 plus G7. So simply type equals C7 plus E7 plus G7. And again, if it shows up, I did it again, just make sure you didn't space before it. See, up here in the function window, you can also see where your formula is. Let's make all your short-term goals one color. Make your intermediate goals a different color. And then make your long-term goals a different color. Use subtle colors though, so they're easier to read. This is just a black coloring to separate this document from your grand total. In this cell, I've merged A, B, C, D, E, and F. Remember to merge. You highlight, go to Format, Merge Cells, Merge Horizontally. Okay, so please get this assignment completed. Make sure you shared it with me and give me editing privileges. Feel free to substitute this information with your own goals. All right, hopefully you learned something from this. Have a great